All right, let's look at the slope of a line. All right, so first let's look at the slope formula. All right, let's say there are 2 points given, say x1, comma y1, and also x2, comma y2. Right? Then as we know that the slope m is going to be rise over run. Right? And rise is basically the difference in y, so it's going to be y2 minus y1. And run is the difference in x value, so it's x2 minus x1. Right? So this is the slope formula. Right? Then we can talk about the parallel lines and perpendicular lines in terms of slopes. Right? So let's say you have 2 lines. L1 is parallel to L2. Right? Then what can you say about the corresponding slopes? Right? So slope of L1, let's say M1, and slope of L2 would be M2. Right? If 2 lines are parallel, their slopes are equal to each other. Right? And if 2 lines are perpendicular to each other, then one is the negative reciprocal of the other one. So one way to write it would be just say M2 is equal to negative reciprocal of M1. Or if you want to write it as M1 times M2 is equal to negative 1, which is the same thing. Right? So we can talk about parallel lines and perpendicular lines in terms of slopes. All right, so once you have a slope formula, we can easily come up with equations of a line. So first form is called point slope form. All right, let's say you have a point given. So 1 point on the line is given, x1, comma y1. Let's draw a picture here. So it's a small picture here. So you have x-axis and the y-axis. All right, so you have a point given. So you have a line and a point. So let's say just 1 point. So this is given to be x1, comma y1. Right, and the slope is m. Right. So from the slope formula, we can get let's see, m is equal to, let's see, I should probably m is equal to. All right, so any random point, so any arbitrary point on this line, let's call it generic name, coordinates x comma y, then it has to have this slope m. So by following the slope formula, right, so it's going to be a y minus y1, difference in y values, and over x minus x1, this difference in x values. Right? Then you can just multiply both sides by the denominator, quantity x minus x1. We get m times quantity x minus x1 is equal to y minus y1. Right? Then point slope form is actually written kind of backward. So y minus y1 is equal to m times quantity x minus x1. Right? And we have this familiar form. Right? Number 2, slope-intercept form. This is actually probably, you might be more familiar with this guy than the first one. All right, so if you know the slope m, so slope is given, and also y-intercept, right? But y-intercept is b, which means that it's going to actually go through a point 0, comma b, right? So this is right back to the same situation as the first one. Slope is given, you have a point. So x1 is 0 and y1 is b. So if you plug 0 for x1 and b for y1, you're going to end up getting, so y minus b equals mx. So it's going to be y equals mx plus b, right? So this is the form, slope-intercept form, and we must be familiar with this one. All right. Then there's a major issue with the first two forms, because these two forms depends on having a slope, right? But there's a line which has undefined slope, which are vertical lines. So vertical lines cannot be written in the first two forms. So we have to come up with a more general one. So the general form would be something like this. You have a constant times x plus constant times y plus constant term equal to 0. Right? This is actually also called the linear equation, because equation of a line. Right? Any line, equation of a line can be written in this form. So for example, if you want to have a vertical line has this, let's say vertical line, vertical line has a equation of the form a equals some number, say a, x equals some number a. So what you can do is we can have b equals 0, c equals negative a, and a equals 1. You can get that equation, right? So this is called the general form, right? So first two forms can be rewritten as ax plus by plus c form, c equals 0 form. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.